So the Elon Musk clown show continues today.
What's going on today?
Well, one of his rockets just went boom. Basically blew up.
Blow up?
Yeah, and I'll play the video on screen. You guys can see, like, it's not like a small explosion.
Yeah, but he said it's scratch.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like scratch.
When you guys see the explosion, that looked like a scratch to you.
I thought, when he mentioned scratch, I thought just a little bit of fire.
Right.
But it was explosion.
Yeah, and we're talking about billions of dollars here. He's got contracts with the government, etc. And it looks bad all around when you're blowing up stuff at this late in the game.
And he says he acts like it's nothing, but it's not nothing.
Yeah, they've been promising that they're going to go to the moon, right? And
no, the Mars.
Right, but right. So the reason why the Mars thing is funny is because Musk has been saying, okay, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to the moon, and then now he's been saying, well, the moon's not that important. We're just going to go straight to Mars. But he hasn't even gone to the moon yet, so you're kind of like changed the story, basically.
Not just go to the moon, you got to come back. That's the key.
Oh, right. So a lot of Musk fanboys and fangirls, they say, but Chris, you're so dumb. They got reusable rockets. He's the most awesome person in the whole world. But Musk got some bad news today. Who else is doing reusable rockets?
Honda?
Yeah. So they're not the only game in town.
No.
It's the same with the robot driving. They're not the only game in town. So we just talked about yesterday, Amazon is now in this game. Google is in this game. Volkswagen said they're jumping in, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other car companies.
And there's a lot of, those car companies in China.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. So, I mean, one of the big problems with sort of the scenarios that people talk about with Musk is like, he's the only person out there, and he's so inventive and stuff. Now, if something is like really profitable, or really successful, like, do you just think everyone else is gonna be, oh, okay, I'm just not gonna develop anything, just let Elon do it all? Is that how business works? No, and so, like, why does anyone think that? It's kind of strange to me. What's that?
It's just, it was very strange from first time.
I mean, I don't know. And so, kind of what Elon's been doing lately, he's been trying to bury himself into the government, and then he got in a big fight with Trump, which threw everything out of whack, right? So, it was the breakup of the century. Whether or not they're back together, like, that's hard to say, like, exactly back.
Even if it's back, it's not gonna be truly back. They have something to, they want benefit from each other.
Sure. And one thing we always try to teach young people or whatever, and this is just good advice: don't burn your bridges. And I don't know if do you guys have this concept in Korea? Do you say that phrase, "burn your bridges"?
We don't have that, but I know the concept. Yeah.
Because people don't forget easily, especially in this day of social media, when you're like literally publicly saying bad things about each other. Now, Musk did delete a lot of his Trump tweets, but meaning like bad things about Trump. But I don't think Trump forgets that kind of stuff, you know?
Because Trump's someone who's also obsessed about that.
Oh, absolutely. He cares about image quite a bit. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, in the last video that I made, which is really quite interesting, many of the right-wing people now, they're circling an old photo with Trump and Ronald Reagan. So now you got to hear the story behind this one though. So it's actually pretty funny. Trump, and this is from like old reports, because like this happened a long time. It was like this would have been the 80s. But Trump was like literally writing letters like every day to try to get Reagan to come to his parties. Because everybody wants Reagan to come to the party, right? Of course, it's not like shocking that Trump would do that, but that's the kind of person he was, right? And so then eventually, I think I don't think Trump ever, so I don't think Reagan ever came down to Trump, but Trump figured out a way to get a photo with Reagan. A lot of people, could do that kind of thing, right? Because Reagan took photos all the time. And so then they were, the right-wing people today, they were trying to paint it like, Trump and Reagan were friends, but like literally we have notes from Reagan's wife, so Nancy Reagan, that she didn't really know him that well. Reagan's son even came out like, no, we don't really know Trump that well. like they try to overplay it, right? And it's just kind of funny the way they mentioned is like Trump writing letters every day. So actually Trump, what's that?
He still does that to Kim Jong-un.
He does, yeah. So that matches his personality. That's why I said it was really funny, because I hadn't heard that story before. And I don't know if you ever heard this story. Trump used to call on the phone and pretend he would be like a PR person or a reporter.
For what?
To like feed stories about himself. Like
really?
Yeah, yeah. Like he would like pretend. If you guys have probably heard this stuff about Trump before. Yeah, he because
Cold where?
so he would like feed a story to the newspaper. Be like, oh, I got an inside tip on Trump. Trump's doing blah 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 blah. Like
I
no, but
see.
he's been all about the media game for years, right? So when you mention that he cares about his image and what stuff that Elon says about him, he's really sensitive about that stuff. And so, like for example, people
he even changed the president picture on the Congress. It was Congress, right? Congress.
He has an official, so we call it like official presidential photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had one, and then he changed that, and then there was another one they had. I think it was some sort of auction or something on a portrait of him, and he was upset with like the image. No, he's really concerned about that kind of stuff. It actually started going on when he was. Well, I mean, this has been going on for years with him, but in terms of the presidency, for example, he gave his first speech, right? And not that many people showed up. And because we could see it, like you take a photo and you can watch the video and you can see not many people showed up. And then from the very beginning when he was president, he was already like, no, we had the biggest inauguration speech in history, kind of stuff.
That's why he's obsessed about the size.
Yeah, yeah.
He always want big, like mega, you know.
So for example, the reason why people make fun of his hands, so the sort of leaked out is like he's always concerned that his hands are too small. So people make fun of it because it makes him mad.
Yeah, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but we do have a kind of myth. If you have small hand, you have small.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So it could be whether or not that's the reason why Trump is concerned about that kind of stuff. I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. And then this is also it relates to the Elon stuff. Elon is now saying one of the Trump people in the inner circle is a snake. And Elon actually tweeted out that he's a snake.
He's a snake. Elon is, I think, King Cobra.
It could be, right? So it's so bizarre, this whole like reality TV show thing. It's like a Game of Thrones drama to where effectively Trump is like a dying king. And you have sort of all these...
A dying king who has a phone.
Yeah, a dying king who has a phone, right? Just tweeting out constantly. And... all his advisors,
just like whispering all the time.
Like we could say, like a worm tongue.
Yeah.
So in English, we'll say vulture. Like it's the bird that has like the red neck and they fly around the dead body. Like that kind of bird. I don't know if you guys have this like.
Is it kanshun?
Kanshun, is that a bird or a? It's like the animals that fly around or like they're waiting for an animal to die and they'll come and.
We call it snake too.
Oh, so you'll say snake. Yeah, snake and vulture is similar kind of. So snake would have the implication for like, say, Western belief would be like, from the Bible, the snake's the lion animal and kind of, do that kind of stuff. The vulture's sort of waiting for the animal to die. That's sort of what the White House is right now. And the reason why Musk hates this guy, and I got his name. His name is Gore. It's like G-O-R. This guy is interesting. So he's in charge of like doing background check of all the people in the White House, etc. And then the report came out that I guess he himself hasn't finished his background check because I guess if he's in charge of it, you should theoretically check yourself.
No, you should. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Well, you're right. You wouldn't check yourself actually, but someone should check you first, and then you.
Yeah.
But that's just not how they do stuff with the Trump. So I guess the rumor right now, because we don't know exactly these things. So we do know that Trump pulled Elon's pick to be in charge of NASA. So Elon had a close friend, and his name was Isaacman, something like that, who was going to be in charge of NASA. And the rumor at the time, and everything could change with this stuff, that money was going to be going to the Mars project, which obviously benefit Elon, right? So you come up billions of dollars is quite a lot of money. And then if this guy that Elon's calling the snake is the one who pulled Elon friend's name.
I see.
So again, as you mentioned, like remember Trump's the dying king with the Twitter, tweeting all the time, and then people just sort of fight for Trump's attention. In the last video, we talked about how do you get the attention of a baby? You do like a squeezy toy, or whatever their favorite food is. Yeah, and for those of you guys who have pets, you'll know this. Like pets go crazy for their treats. Because they have like their regular food and then their treat, but like animals, they just go and no, seriously,
crazy, jumping around.
Yeah. So probably what's going on right now in the Trump White House is everyone's trying to figure out like, okay, what's Trump's favorite treat this week, right? Like what can we get him to get his attention? And I promise you, probably what it was would be like this week, we'd be like, hey Trump, you know, if you do a really big flagpole, people will like you and they'll stop talking about your hands. And he's like, oh yeah, flagpole. So then the advisor would be like, sort of like fight to be in charge of the flagpole project. That's kind of like what they're doing inside. What's that?
I don't know.
It's so ridiculous, right?
The Iran, Israel's own war. So I think he wanted to say that his face is printed big jet to the Israel, something like that.
Yeah. So that's an interesting because there's different rumors on what's happening on that. So the official story is that Trump's saying he needs 2 more weeks. Okay. So it's basically a TV show. Wait to see what happens in 2 weeks, whatever. But there's also rumors out there also, because you always hear kind of scuttlebutt what's happening in Washington, is maybe we're going to change our policy with Russia. So these things. So Trump's in a spot to where, okay, you have to understand, like, so how's our White House run? Trump's whole position is, how can I get my Instagram photos with world leaders, right? Be it with Xi, be it with Putin or whatever, and how can I put money in my pocket? So once you understand, like, that's how things are run, then you'll see, okay, all his advisors then, to get their plans in place, they have to like present to Trump on a daily basis. This is your benefit. This is how you get your Instagram photo. This is how you get your money. And then you mentioned like jet with like your big picture on it. So, if you want to be successful in the Trump White House, get good at making PPTs with Trump's picture. Yeah.
Picture.
And if you guys, because we have a lot of people who watch this channel, if you've ever, what's that?
Yeah, even he put his own face. He called gold card, like Visa card, basically.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. So I was just literally going to mention something like that. Is like, if you really want to be successful in the Trump White House or people like that, you have to be able to make prototypes of like, or mock-ups. In other words, you could say, hey Trump, if we did a gold card, we put your face on it, it would look just like this. And you'd be like, oh, I like that. Or Trump, if we give you a plane and put your face on the plane, oh, I like that. Do you see how this would going? And like, that's it. You have to get people like Trump, because he's old. You have to bring him like a physical product or a picture of like, so he can kind of see how he can be famous. It's the same way in Hollywood, because remember, he's a TV star. If you say, okay, guys, I got this pitch for a new TV show or movie. This is going to be the poster, right? Just imagine your name and lights and your big shiny stars and whatever. If you get that right away, that Trump's a TV star basically, and how can you make him look more handsomer,
is he even
taller?
A star before? Just on TV, or was it literally celebrity star?
So Trump is always you mean like actor kind of thing? Well,
as a celebrity, is he even a star?
So Trump, that's an interesting question, okay? So Trump basically, he's always managed his image. And so from when he was young, he was basically the kind of guy that would show up to parties, then feed stories about like maybe who he's dating with or what hotel he's building. And then he would get in the government to get like benefits to get loans or tax breaks to build said buildings. And then when he would build the said building, he would have big parties in the lobby of said building, this kind of stuff. Like he's always been playing that media thing, and then they would always make money on selling his name, like a brand, the Trump brand. That's always been part of his thing, and a lot of it's based on debt. So you're always taking out loans, and then you're borrowing money based on things that you've done, but it's all in things you still haven't paid back. Yeah. So to answer your question, has he always been like a TV star? He's always been in the press for. He wants to portray himself in like as a a dashing. The best way to describe it is, remember we talked about Cuban yesterday. Trump likes to play a rich person on TV. He likes to play that character. So whether or not Trump really is rich, we don't actually know for sure, to be honest, because he never shows his taxes. Usually when you're president, like they just want to say, hey, this is where my financial disclosures are. This is where I have And I think I think for you guys, it's for many things that Trump would do that would be automatically illegal in Korea here. Like
automatically.
Yeah, you would just.
You can't even try. You can't even borrow the money.
I'll give you an example, guys. So here in Korea, just how different it is. If the president's wife takes a purse, maybe worth, I don't know, maybe $2,000 or something.
Last time, steal purse.
Would it be like $2,000 or something like that, or maybe? Okay, so maybe like $4,000 or $5,000. So that was a massive, massive scandal that the president's wife got a gift from, it might have been like a church or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, let's say the Trump or Musk situation, like you're talking billions of dollars. So I'm saying massive scandal here for just a couple $1,000 for a purse.
Yeah.
The USA is a whole other game. But you know, in my opinion, hopefully after the Trump thing, this whole culture goes away. I can't predict. You know, 3 years from now.
So.
Let's hope so that people realize that this is awful.
Yeah.
So anyway, you have to understand that Trump and Musk stuff is deeply connected and sort of why we are where we are. Do appreciate your time, everyone. We'll catch you all in the next video. So, bye.